The moment my aunt swung the door open, I didn't need her words. I already understood. Her expression curled into something sour, like she'd tasted something spoiled. Arms folded tightly across her chest, she said flatly, "You're not welcome here. Go spoil someone else's celebration." Behind her, the house radiated warmth, fairy lights wrapped around the ceiling beams, laughter bouncing off the walls. Through the hallway, I saw a dining room full of life. Clinking glasses, plates stacked high, people toasting under golden glow. My people. My relatives. I stood still on the front step, gripping a bottle of red wine in one hand and a homemade pie in the other. My breath clouded in the winter air. I gave a single nod. Message received. Without a word, I turned and stepped back into the night. 10 minutes passed before I heard my name being shouted. My father's voice, frantic, tearing through the night like someone waking up from a nightmare. But by then, I was already gone. 3 years earlier, I was the family favorite. After my mother passed, Aunt Carol told everyone I was like her second daughter. And I believed her. I was at every family gathering, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Sunday dinners. I brought hand-prepared meals, stayed late to clean while the others lounged in front of the TV, laughed politely at Uncle Ray's recycled jokes. When I got a job at a community nonprofit and began freelance work on the side, I offered to design a website for Carol's catering business, for free. She was thrilled. "You've always been the clever one," she'd whispered, her cold fingertips brushing my cheek. "You're going to do great things, for all of us." But the moment I suggested coming on as a business partner, something shifted. She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "Let's circle back to that in a year, sweetie." They circled back, without me. Half a year later, the company unveiled a total rebrand. A new logo, fresh website, and an official new partner, my cousin Rachel. Her only apparent credentials? A big social media following and a fake marketing degree from a no-name online school. Nobody told me. I learned through a Facebook post. Still, I bit down the bitterness and kept showing up. I kept offering help, hoping it was just a misunderstanding, not deliberate exclusion. But it wasn't long before the pattern became impossible to ignore. My texts went unanswered. The invites stopped arriving. When Grandma's 80th birthday came and went without me, and I saw the pictures online, every family member smiling in group shots, I finally got the message. I wasn't being forgotten. I was being erased. 2 weeks before Christmas, I dropped off a tin of gingerbread cookies at my dad's office. He's not a man of many words, not the emotional type, but that day he held onto our hug longer than usual. "Don't let them wear you down," he told me quietly. "Some people think kindness makes you weak." I didn't fully grasp what he meant until I saw the envelope tucked in his drawer. A formal invitation, embossed lettering, gold-trimmed edges, to Aunt Carol's annual Christmas Eve dinner. RSVP required. I never got one. That's when something inside me shifted. The anger faded. In its place came a crystal-clear sense of purpose. I didn't cry. Not anymore. The version of me who chased their approval, who waited for affection like a dog under the table hoping for scraps, she no longer existed. Pain either breaks you or turns you sharp. I chose the latter. I still had full administrative control over the business website. Carol never revoked it. I could see every client inquiry, every invoice, each venue booking. So I started tracking patterns. Every Thursday at exactly 9:37 p.m., she logged in from her iPad. Mondays, Rachel blasted out press releases, ripped word for word from free PR templates online. I archived every detail. Then I contacted a few professionals I'd worked with before, photographers, graphic artists, a copywriter, told them I was helping a friend deal with stolen branding assets. All of them confirmed what I suspected. They were using my original designs, my text, my back-end coding, without permission, and never once gave me credit. It wasn't just unethical. It was theft. And I had proof, date-stamped, traceable, ironclad. That was my leverage. First move, cut off their oxygen supply. I reached out to their 3 biggest clients, a luxury hotel, a sought-after wedding venue, and an elite retirement residence. All had signed contracts using the materials I'd created. Calmly and legally, I informed them that I had never authorized use of my intellectual property. I attached official cease and desist letters. 2 of the clients immediately severed ties. Next step, let them squirm. On Christmas Eve, I drove by their house at 6:02 p.m., just as they'd be sitting down to eat, just to witness it. Carol opened the door with a look of venom. "You're not wanted here," she hissed. "Go destroy someone else's holiday." I simply nodded. Understood. 10 minutes later, I was parked at the end of the block when I saw my father come bolting out of the driveway, coat flapping behind him, voice cracking as he called for me. He had just read the documents I'd sent, BCC, to his law firm's inbox. The firm he co-founded. The one Carol somehow forgot he still ran. He wasn't just shocked. He was livid. 1 week later, Carol was served with legal papers, intellectual property infringement, financial damages, misrepresentation, unauthorized use of proprietary assets, breach of verbal agreement. My father filed it himself. Then he took it further. He withdrew every financial commitment he'd made to their company. Froze the family business account Grandma had set up decades ago. Carol wept at the hearing. Said it was all just a misunderstanding. "No," my dad said, his voice like frost. "It was betrayal." Rachel claimed ignorance. Said she thought everything was approved. But I had printed copies of the Slack messages where she'd called me a gullible idiot. I didn't need to say anything. The silence said enough. In the end, they lost the company. Lost the house. Turns out Carol had been siphoning money for years. I didn't smile when I saw the for sale sign planted in their front yard. I didn't need to. Real power doesn't need to boast. It simply moves on. I spent Christmas with my father that year. Just the 2 of us. He made hot chocolate and told me he was proud, that I reminded him of my mother in the best ways. I didn't respond. I just let the warmth of the mug seep into my hands. Once upon a time, I would have begged for their love. Asked them why. Pleaded to be included again. But that girl died on their porch. I don't need a seat at their table anymore. I built my own. And next Christmas, they'll be the ones looking through the glass from outside.